Now, 11 people have been confirmed dead and 80 others have been injured in a road accident involving an STC bus, a Grand Bird bus, and a 40-footer container truck on the Suhun-Kumasi Road. The Ayenswano District Police Commander ASP Francis Nate confirmed the incidents to JoyNews.
The other side is under construction, and after completion, before it can be turned into a dual carriage. But this road is a single lane, one going and the other coming. So they all use the same. The in and out drivers use the same lane.
Okay. So it's okay. So you've explained that to us. We also understand that the driver and the conductor of that truck, or the tipper truck, or not the tipper truck, the trailer, cannot be found. Have we seen them now?
No, as at the moment, we cannot trace them. We cannot locate them. We can't locate where they are whereabouts.
Okay.
So we are still trying to find where they are. Whether after the accident they got injured and being transported to any of the health facilities or not, we are yet to find it out.
And the area where this accident occurred, is the road well lit? Is the lighting system good?
Pardon?
I'm asking if the lighting system is good enough.
No. There's no any street lights along this road. Straight out from Sawam to Suhum, no street lights on it.
We really appreciate...
The visibility becomes poor in the night.
So what next now with regards to this accident from the side of the police?
Yes. We are trying to find out what caused the accident. However, they are alleging, some of these witnesses at the scene are alleging it was a tire burst from the articulator truck. Really, upon seeing the truck, you can find the truck that one of the tires burst. But we can't attribute it to this accident as of now, since we haven't gotten the driver to inquire from him.
Okay. But from what you observe from the scene, can you hazard any information or a guess as to how it happened?
Okay, from the traces or the skid marks on that road, we can deduce that it was the truck which veered onto the opposite lane and as such caused these two buses, the Kia Grand Bird and the STC bus, to be involved in this accident. So at the moment, we have to attribute it to the fault to be from the articulator driver, who is yet to be found to also tell us.
We'll come back to this story later. Our man on the ground is Kweku Asante, and he's monitoring the situation live. We will connect with him very shortly to find out what exactly has become of that scene since we last brought you that report. Before that, though, parts of the northern region have been submerged in floods resulting from days of torrential rains and spillage from the Bagri Dam. There is near total shutdown of the intake point of the Ghana Water Company at Kumbungu in the northern region following the submersion of 2 of the 3 pumping machines. This follows flooding of the Nawuni Dam due to spillage of the Bagri Dam. Currently, only one of the pumping machines is serving water at 1/3 capacity, which supplies the Dalun treatment plant for a processing to serve a huge portion of the northern region. This means if it is totally shut down, the region will be hit by a severe water crisis. Explaining the near disaster to the Northern Region Security Council, RegSec, the Northern Regional Chief Manager of GWCL, Amidu Musa, spoke to JoyNews.
We are supposed to produce 45,000 cubic meters of water. So currently what we are doing is about 15,000 cubic per day, because we are running 1 pump instead of 3. Already when we even do the 45, we have to rush it, because the demand currently is around 90,000 cubic per day, and we are doing 45. Now we've dropped down to 15,000, so you can imagine. So when you get water, we advise that store it and use it judiciously, because the there are some critical institutions we cannot deny. So we'll have to look at those institutions first before the rest of the public can be served.
The water is still rising. At what threshold would you shut the pump down?
Yes, in fact, we are supposed to shut the pump at 36 feet. And as at this afternoon, we have 35.75. So we are almost there. But we hope God will listen to our prayers so that we don't have to shut down completely. Because when we shut down completely, it will even make the case worse. Because now at least we are drawing some of the water for treatment. So it's helping the level. So you can imagine if we shut it, maybe the whole of the control room will be filled with water.
Now, at this current.
Now, Northern Regional Minister Salifu Said said, anything that threatens the existence of the people becomes a security matter.
Capacity, first of all, of His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, as well as the chairman of Northern Regional Security Council. That is why I'm here with all the heads of the sister security services in the region. Given the fact that water is life, and for that matter, anything that threatens the existence, the peaceful existence of our people, it becomes a security matter. And that is why we have not even allowed a day to pass. And we have moved in here to also have first-hand assessment of what is happening. And from the briefings that I have received from the engineer, that is the regional director of Ghana Water Company and his research team, we have realized that since 1997, they have never seen volumes of water flooding the banks of the river, at the same time attempting to even submerge the pumping machines. But this one is even unprecedented because that it has never happened. And from the look of things, the current capacity that they are pumping is 1/3 of what they have been doing during their normal operations days, because they have about 3 of the machines that are no more working, given the fact that they are almost about getting submerged. Then the other one, fortunately, the one that is working, the engine is a little higher than the water. But if the volumes doesn't start receding and it continues to increase, they will be compelled to shut down completely. And that is where the major threat is. Even currently, the 1/3 capacity they are operating, it means that they can only supply water to the essential areas. That is very critical areas like the hospitals, the prisons, airport, students who are in school. But these are very, even that ones they will be compared to ration, not to talk of the general public consuming this commodity, life-saving commodity. So I have come here, first of all, to look at it and make a very quick recommendation to Accra, especially the seat of government, and also the sector minister, to ensure that they quickly mobilize emergency submersible pumps that can survive being inside water to be able to supply water to Dalang, Kumbungu, Tamale, and East peri-urban communities.
Now, some smaller political parties are demanding explanation from the Electoral Commission for the 100% increases in the newly announced filing fees for presidential and parliamentary aspirants in the 2020 elections. The Electoral Commission on Monday, September 14, announced that presidential candidates hoping to contest in this year's election will pay 100,000 Ghana cedis, while parliamentary candidates pay 10,000 Ghana cedis for their filing fees. Chairpersons for the Commission, Mrs. Jean Mensah, made the announcement at a press briefing yesterday.
The Commission has introduced and increased the number of days for the filing of nominations from the initial 2 days to 5 days. I think in the past we had the filing period was a 2-day period. However, we've increased that to 5 days. And we believe that this would afford the political parties an opportunity to make the necessary corrections on their nomination forms. We believe that this will go a long way to reduce the disqualifications that characterized our previous filing process. Additionally, we are of the view that that period of time would help reduce the tension and the acrimony that characterized the previous registration process. Finally, we come to the important subject of the filing fees. The presidential candidates will be required to deposit an amount of 100,000 in the form of a banker's draft to the Commission. Parliamentary candidates will be required to deposit 10,000 Ghana cedis in the form of a banker's draft as well.
Now, speaking on PM Express with Evans Mensah last night, the PPP's presidential candidate, Bridget Jogmenuku, said the Electoral Commission must give reasonable justification for the hikes in filing fees.
Ridiculous. I mean, I was actually listening to other debaters on the issue, and if you're expecting us to come up with 100,000 CDs, then we are still going around the same issue of monetizing our politics and politics based in, determined by money. And therefore, if one can't afford that filing fee, then it disqualifies them, even if they are capable of being candidates and being president. So I think that should be looked at, and must, hopefully we hope that it will be reviewed. But even 50,000 then was a great deal of money. So 100,000 is completely ridiculous. But well, we hope that most times the CSOs come and say something and speak about it. And I think that they've already talked about how politics is monetized. If somebody is going to raise 100,000 to file to be on a ballot paper or to lead a political party, they must find that money. And that is when we start turning to all kinds of people to fund us, who will ask for their pound of flesh after the elections. And we already have that problem where all kinds of funders, people have funded the party. And of course, they fund the party because they want something back at the end of the election. So they must look at it, because the more and more we demand from the political parties and their flag bearers huge amounts of money, the more we dig our own democracy into the ground and find ways that leaders of political parties are corrupt.
You can't afford 100,000 seats?
Personally, no.
You cannot?
No, I can't. That is the truth. I mean, everybody, I can't afford 100,000 CDs. I'm not into politics because I'm rich. Actually, on the contrary, I would want everybody who is like me in Ghana to say, I can lead a political party and I can, bring changes to our politics and our democracy in this country. I cannot afford 100,000 CDs, no.
Now, General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, Nana Ajantua, made the same demands of the Electoral Commission.
If whatever you are saying is tenable, is acceptable, why not? But you can't just say that because it's 4 years down the line, it has to go up by 100%. There should be a reason why it's going up by 100%. Maybe there's some secretarial things, maybe some logistical things. Whatever it is, we should know that for such and such a reason, categorically stated in whichever statement has come out, whichever documentation, we should know.
Now, ahead of advocacy and policy engagement as the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, Dr. Kojo Asante is of the opinion that the Electoral Commission will not incur a cost of more than 5,000 Ghana cedis during the opening and filing of nomination forms by presidential candidates. He believes the nomination fees should therefore match the cost the Commission incurs in the process, with a slight margin of profit. He was speaking on Prime Morning on Joy Prime TV, and Dr. Asante disagreed with the Commission's reasoning for charging presidential candidates 100,000 Ghana cedis.
Any public service that is offered in this country, if you are estimating costs it has to be to cover the cost of administering that particular service. That's the first basic point. It is possible that in some circumstances you can adjust for some margins, in order to generate some internal funds. But it has to be, within reason. And secondly, when you are dealing with a political right, like in terms of people's right to put themselves to be voted for, to participate in political processes, you even have even more responsibility and obligation to be reasonable in the way in which you set costs. So in many jurisdictions, this process is basically for just a nominal fee. I think in the US, for instance, you pay maybe around $500 or something of that nature.
You're live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazen. Our President Akufo-Addo is firm that military junta in neighboring Mali cannot afford any more delay in putting together a new government to oversee transition from military to civilian rule. September 15 deadline set by ECOWAS at its last meeting in Niamey for the military regime to hand over power has not been met. At the opening of a consultative meeting on the political crisis, President Akufo-Addo, who is also chairman of the regional body, said the meeting will bring finality to the crisis.
President of Ghana in the eastern region of our country. This is my first assignment as chair of the ECOWAS authority. My reason for this meeting is simple. We need to bring finality to our deliberations on Mali. That country can no longer afford any delay in putting a responsible government in place following the events of 18th of August, when our colleague, His Excellency Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, was the object of a coup d'etat in his country. The terrorists are taking advantage of the situation in Mali to flex their muscles even more. Today is supposed to be the day when the military junta in Mali is to put in place a government which should respond to the criteria we set out at our last summit of 28th August 2020. That has not been done. The circumstances of life in Mali today require that closure be brought to the matter now. It is my belief that a face-to-face meeting between us, representing the ECOWAS community and the military leaders in Bamako, provide us with the best opportunity to find a firm resolution. Fortunately, the military leaders have also responded positively to my invitation and are here to meet with us. I thought it prudent for us, before meeting them, to concert amongst ourselves and agree on a common position. And to do so, I want to invite the President of the Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Brou, and our mediator, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who's been doing such a yeoman's job on our behalf, to give us the necessary briefing as to the evolution of the situation in Mali and an indication of our position.
Now, presidential correspondent Elton Brobe joins us from Peduase, where the meeting is taking place. Elton, who is in this meeting?
So, Dana, the roll call includes the president of La Côte d'Ivoire, Togo, Senegal, Niger, Mali, and also at this ongoing meeting is the leader of the military regime that is currently in Mali, Assimi Goïta, who is operating under the National Council for the Salvation of the People. Now, if you can see behind me, he came with a full military entourage. Some of them could not have access to the main conference room here at the Peduase Lodge, so they are waiting for the meeting which is being held behind closed doors. Now, on the table now is whether or not they are ready to comply with the ECOWAS directive that was given them on the 7th of September to hand over power to a civilian regime, for that civilian regime to operate within 12 months and return the country to constitutional rule. President Akufo-Addo was quite emphatic in the fact that Mali has run out of time in terms of returning the country to a civilian rule, even though the military regime, they've asked for 18 more months. Now, Assimi Goïta, who is leading this mutiny in Mali, is expected to address the members of ECOWAS, and he will speak on the social political conditions in Mali and the role to civilian rule, as to whether this meeting, this consultative meeting, will accept the explanation why they cannot hand over power now, because the deadline will expire at midnight tonight, and whether they will allow them to hold on power for the next 18 months before a civilian government can take over. It's something that we are all waiting to hear. The meeting itself is being held behind closed doors. Now, when they are done, all the leaders will come out to hold a news conference and then speak to the media. They will take questions about what they may come to in terms of resolution in going forward. But all the leaders here are confident that this meeting will bring finality to the crisis, the political crisis in Mali, because according to President Akufo-Addo, the insurgents operating in the sub-region have already taken advantage of the political instability in Mali, and they are advancing towards the region, and something that leaders on the continent will not sit down and allow it to go. So Mali is presenting a test case for ECOWAS to act, and they are saying that today will bring finality to this matter. As to whether the deadline given by ECOWAS will be respected or there will be an extension, those are some of the issues that we are all waiting to hear after the meeting.
Elton, thank you very much for those updates. We'll come back to you when there's more to report from the Pediasi Presidential Resort. But if you're in Accra and the Ayawaso West Ogun constituency, to be precise, roads in your part of town have seen a major facelift. JoyNews' checks reveal over 50 kilometers of asphalt overlay has been done in parts of East Legon, Roman Ridge and Jolu. The rehabilitation of the roads comes just months to the December polls. While MP for the area, Lady Sarah Malasan, has dismissed claims the move is only an attempt to advance her electoral fortunes during the December 7 polls. But what do the people on the ground say? My colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, visited East Legon and its environs and has come through with this report.
This is East Legon, a prime upscale community within the Ayawaso West Ogun constituency. A constituency with shopping malls, embassies, 5-star hotels, and Ghana's premier university. East Legon is arguably the Beverly Hills of Ghana. The Ayawaso West Ogun constituency has for many years remained a safe seat for the governing NPP. For many years, roads in the constituency were deteriorating, but with a few months to elections, a lot has changed here. At East Legon, roads around ANC Mall, A4 Sutherland Street, and Manya Loop have all been given an asphalt overlay. That's not all. Roads in Jolu, Abelempe, and Roman Ridge have also undergone repair works. MP for the area, Lydia Sarah Malhassan, explains why.
President, when he said he was going to, that this year is going to be a year of roads. So it is our share of the year of road that we are seeing across. I must say, we needed that. We want good quality roads that will last long. You don't want to have any shoddy work. And by the grace, these roads are roads that are going to last a long time for the constituency and the country as a whole.
But this explanation has been rejected by the NDC. NDC's constituency chairman, Bismarck Kaite, argues the NP cannot take credit for the projects which were started under the Mahama administration.
Concerning this asphalt overlay, it has not started for the past 3 months. It's something that was ongoing before NDC led power. You remember NPP started this some time back prior to the by-election. After by-election, it was put on hold, and they've started again. So it's not something new. We are in the most elite community, and every government try as much as possible to make sure the road network within the municipality is good. As you go around, you saw areas within East Legon that are not motorable, that there are no asphalt. Why those areas are not touched by violation that has seen its fair share of asphalt within last 4 years under John Dramani Mahama? Why should you come and put another quota on it? But you go to Mimpasem, you go to part of East Legon, you cannot send your cars there.
But the NP, Lydia Al-Hassan, disagrees.
Jowulu was constructed after the elections. Jowulu was constructed last year. Part of Abilinkpe was constructed last year. Even Mimpasem, we constructed Mimpasem after I became the MP. For the first time in the history of that part of the road, was constructed after I became the MP. So it is not for the by-election. It's a developmental project that, by the grace of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Minister for Road, brought to the constituency. Though I am not that long in Parliament, but this is something that I go to them for on a daily basis. I lobbied for the road construction in this constituency.
The NP, however, admits there are still deplorable roads within the constituency, but appeal to electorate there to remain calm as plans are underway to fix their road.
I believe there are still issues to do with the Lincoln Road and all the other roads in Abilinkpe. Jowulu, I'm not saying here that we have constructed all the roads within the constituency, but we have over 50 kilometers road within the constituency. There are a whole lot, I tell you. Even with what I'm doing, I don't sleep. I receive calls on a daily basis that our road hasn't been done. We have you haven't fixed our road, and I plead with them.
And you're still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Daze. Charles Aite is next with business.
Hello there, it's time for business with me, Charles Aite. Now, the National Insurance Commission, in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, have arrested unlicensed insurance companies across the capital region of Accra. Now, this comes into bear following several reports of the incessant increase in fraudulent cases of insurance packages across the country. Here is more in this report.
Chief, take your coffee. Chief, is that how we've given you the due respect here? I'm not saying.
According to the NIC, the suspects whose techniques are perpetrated at the premises of the Ayalolo Transport Terminal in Accra Central have been serving as an intermediary between the unsuspecting insuring public and a non-licensed underwriting insurance company. They are currently under police investigations and, if found culpable, would face criminal prosecution according to law. The discreet approach employed by the Special Investigative Unit of the NIC and the police on September 9, 2020 led to the suspects unknowingly disclosing their mode of operations after weeks of surveillance and trailing. Armed with conspicuous information, the suspects were picked up by the police. The Deputy Commissioner of Insurance, Michael Ando, had this to say.
Well, the National Insurance Commission has a monitoring unit that surveys the market and monitors these developments. And so that unit has been scanning the environment and making sure that we have only licensed entities to sell genuine insurance products to the market. This is the work of this unit that led to the uncovering of this unlicensed insurance brokerage.
Mr. Ando also indicated that illegal sale of insurance in the country could lead to locked up premiums and also non-payment of claims.
This could lead to a whole lot of problems. This could lead to mis-selling. This could lead to selling for companies that don't exist. This could even lead to defrauding the public, because these are unlicensed people and only heaven knows what kind of insurance companies and what kind of entities they are operating for. So this has very serious consequences for everybody, including the insuring public.
The NIC says it will investigate the underwriting company involved and would apply the relevant sanctions as stipulated under the Insurance Act 2006, Act 724 of the National Insurance Commission, which makes it a crime to engage any unlicensed insurance intermediary. The Commission is therefore advising the general public to report the activities of any nefarious and suspicious character or company trading or soliciting for insurance business without due authorization to either the police or the nearest NIC office.
Now, the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, says that Ghanaian manufacturing firms are in the best position to take advantage of the Continental Free Trade Agreement area, even as it sets off in 2021. Speaking to Joy Business after touring several factories across the Ashanti and Bono regions, Kojo Alan Tremantin explained government intervention in making sure that most of these factories are best suited to take advantage of this particular initiative.
See from what we've been doing that we were actually ahead of the AFCFTA. You know, it just happened that I would say in all modesty that I was one of the main architects of the CFTA. So I knew what we needed to do as a country to position ourselves to be able to compete, as you are asking about. And so all the projects, the programs, the interventions that I've been talking about, whether it's 1D1F, SME development, all those interventions are meant to support our local industries to be able to compete, particularly now that they've created the CFTA framework. And we've developed an institutional framework to reinforce this. So, for example, we have a national coordinating office for the CFTA. And we've set up a number of technical working groups to identify the opportunities in various sectors. And these technical working groups, which range from 1, enhancing productive capacity, to facilitating access to finance, 3, promoting quality standards, 4, identifying market opportunities, and so there are different areas for which we've established these technical working groups. And these technical working groups have developed what I would call program implementation activities in each of these areas, which is what has been consolidated into our national action plan for harnessing the benefits of the CFTA. And there's a national steering committee which is composed of the heads of each of these technical workers. So there's a structure and a program in place for Ghana to take advantage of the CFTA.
Well, and that's it by way of business. Sports is up next. Thank you very much for staying with us here on Joy News today. It's time for sport, and I bring you our first story. Now, former Youth and Sports Minister Neelante van der Poy has been speaking about what he would have done differently if he was in charge of the Youth and Sports Ministry. He says that he would have concentrated more on lesser-known disciplines.
there is a deficiency of financial support for other disciplines apart from football. In 2019, the government of Ghana spent approximately $4.6 million for Ghana's participation in the African Cup of Nations. However, in September same year, the Ministry of Youth and Sports told the Ghana Athletics Association that they had no finance to support the team to participate in the Diamond League in Qatar. Many have claimed that there is a neglect of support for other sporting disciplines by this government. Neil Lante Vanderpoy says a quarter of what is given to the Black Stars could help develop other disciplines.
We'll have given more impetus to the other sporting disciplines, because I saw the effort of, for example, the volleyball team, the beach soccer team, the weightlifting team, the hockey teams, both male and female, and the boxing team. And also, very importantly, swimming. Yeah, we saw the effort of the people who are involved in swimming. So, as a minister, I will have given a lot of support and attention and impetus to these people to encourage them to do more than they are doing. Our over reliance on football and the sort of resources we pump into football, with all its attendant, problems and challenges, and sometimes returns we get. I believe that just 10 or 20% of that attention, if it's given to the other sporting disciplines, I think they will do well.
He added that the NDC have a track record of supporting associations he described as less financed sports.
I'm very sure. Not me, but we are talking about the NDC.
Yeah, the NDC.
Why? We have a track record of supporting the lesser known sports. For example, the whole idea of building a Bukum Boxing Emporium was one of it. In the Bukum Boxing Emporium, it's not only boxing. We also have a swimming. For once, and for the first time in the history of this country, Ghana hosted an international swimming competition. The first time. So that should tell. And the national hockey pitch that we have today was built under an NDC government. So that should tell you that we've given some interest.
Now in showbiz, veteran Ghanaian vocalist and songwriter Pat Thomas said he's yet to receive royalties for the theme song he composed for the club. Now, speaking on Daybreak Hits on Hits FM, the veteran singer said the person he worked with to produce the song sold the song without his knowledge.
Kotoko song, I had it in mind that I will one day record it. Now, after the recordings that I did for the producer, he asked me to do another song.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose to do the Kotoko song.
Okay.
And as soon as I finished, he took the record, the tape, and came to Ghana. and left me in Ivory Coast.
Really? Was he a Ghanaian?
No, he's an Ivorian.
Okay.
Wow. He's dead. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Because Kotoko was playing, I think, African Cup.
Okay.
Yes. So he had an idea that he's coming to press the record.
Okay.
And then so that we can sell it over there. But he did that without my knowledge.
Okay.
So that means he stole it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he came to Ghana to sell the records also. I think CDs also.
Yeah.
And he came to see, that was, that time it was Yabawa who was the chairman.
Okay.
Yes. And he came straight to see Yabawa because I had talked about Yabawa to him. So he knew all the corners that he was going to come. Wow. And then he came to Ghana, and then he sold the CDs without giving
so
me nothing.
You never knew anything about
No, man. It was sad, but I didn't bother because I love the team. And up to today, I don't. The only thing I have concern is maybe royalties If they play, I get royalties. I didn't have any money.
Oh, really? That's so bad.
No. That is. I always think about it, but not too much.
Now, Pat Thomas also said he will not endorse any political party ahead of the elections.
Don't know. It depends. I don't think it to be. No, I don't think I'll do that.
Really?
No.
They bring you block pass.
It depends. It depends.
Because the block. But are you not thinking of your fan base?
That is why I really. I mean, the presidents who are on now. I mean, I like them, and they are my friends, and I wouldn't like to go on one side for people to know that I'm here and fans. So I don't want that. Honestly, I don't feel like doing that.
And all the best to Pat Thomas. That's how we end this bulletin of Joy News today. Many thanks for joining us. Up next is the marketplace, but do join Gifty and Apia at 3 p.m. as she brings you the pulse. Expect more updates from the Chichirere accident and the ECOWAS summit when she takes your screen. Till then, have a nice day.